All right, everyone, this is Tim with the York Giants Street Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Oh, we got a lot of fun breaking news to talk about today. DeAndre Hopkins has been released. The Giants need to immediately go out, empty the bank, go find the piggy bank under the bed, crack it open, go to the savings account, get it everything they possibly can to go out and sign the soon-to-be 31-year-old to a massive contract because he is the missing piece for the Super Bowl team. I went on Twitter. I see the light. I know it needs to be done.
You were serious about that?
No, of course I'm not serious about that. Great balls of fire. I mean, really, people? Really? I mean, you look at the Twitter debate that is going on right now, and it's funny as oh heck. Because the fact that you look at it and you say, you have one camp that, you know, is I think is grounded in reality. And they understand the fact that Giants only have about $4 million in cap space. They're negative $27 million right now in reference to the total number of contracts they have in the books. The $4 million, plus $4 million they have is with the rule of 51. So you can't just sit there and all of a sudden go out and break the bank for this vaunted wide receiver. You can't. I'm sorry. It logistically does not make sense. It really doesn't. Is he an all-world talent at 6'1", 220 pounds? The former first-round pick, 27th overall out of Clemson in 2013. He's had massive years. He's had great years. He had that one big season also when he went over to Arizona where he had 115 catches, 1,407 yards, 6 touchdowns. He had the injury in 2001. He had suspension in 2002. So he's, again, 2 years removed from his pinnacle season. Well, to me, his pinnacle season was probably in, I'd say 18. Well, 18, you can argue 18 and 15, where he played all 16 games, caught over 1,000 passes, 100 passes, over 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns both years. You could even say, technically, in 17, where he had 13 touchdowns in only 15 games, that could have been his pinnacle. But he is a guy that, if you take a look at his track record, if you take a look at how he handles himself, he's a little bit truculent. He's not Plaxico Burress, and I love Plax, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, he's not Plax in a good way. Plax was a knucklehead at times. Of course, he shot himself. And we've talked about this before, guys. We've had this PSA. If you're going to the strip club and you are going to take your firearm, first of all, it's illegal to take a firearm to a strip club in New York. But if you are, don't wear sweatpants. Plain, simple rules. But Burress was a knucklehead a different way. This guy is just kind of a knucklehead. He's kind of just out there. He is not the presence that you want to have in your locker room. Would I say he's a bad locker room guy? You don't hear things. You don't hear things that says he's a great locker room guy, but you also don't hear things that say he's a terrible locker room guy. He's a great talent. But the problem is this great talent's going to be 31 years old. And we've talked about this before. You went out and you signed. You signed. You didn't sign. Well, you went out and traded for Walla Walla Waller. You went out and got Paris Campbell. You went out and drafted Jalen Hyatt. You brought back a bulk of your wide receiving core from last year with the minus the exodus of Richie James. You've done all these things. You are not going to go. Shane is not going to go out and spend the money on this guy. And I love it because of the fact that Diop, did what he was on a podcast not too long ago, and he put out the players or the quarterbacks that he would want to play with if he got released. And I laugh because Daniel Jones isn't anywhere on that list. He is a guy he's at the tail end of his career. He's going to want to go to a contender. He's going to go where he can use this to get, he's going to want to go and get money because he's going to be coming in towards his last, he's in the twilight of his career. And he's going to be coming into his last big contract years. He's like OBJ. OBJ wants to go someplace where he can win and get paid. And that's what D-Hop is going to do. And it's not in New York. He might, he might be better off in some regards going to the Jets. And it's painful to say, but I think the Jets in some regards are on a pace right now to potentially pass the Giants in reference to win totals. If Aaron Rodgers pans out, if everything else pans out. They have a wonderful defense. They're building an offense, and they found a quarterback. And they also got some weapons for that quarterback. And I'm not knocking the Giants because of that. It's just a fact. It's just a fact of life, kiddies, that this is what's going to happen. And Hopkins, for all that Hopkins will bring, I think he's going to bring more of a distraction, and he would bring more of a salary cap issue. And then you would have to still think about the ramifications of what signing him would do to Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley he's already said he's not signing his tag until the deadline. So he's gonna play this close to the vest, Barkley, and he is just going to keep it out there, and he's just going to keep waiting. He's going to play long ball. He's going to play the waiting game. But if you go out and make a move like this, you just said to Barkley, you're not coming back. We may keep you this year, but you're not coming back next year. And I don't really think it's a great idea to piss off like something that's almost 40% of your offense. Just saying. I don't think that's the direction to go. It's interesting, guys. It's interesting. It's the silly season. I see things about the OTAs. And that's why I haven't been doing videos, because I see stuff about the OTAs. And nobody wins a football game in May. And I keep saying that. Football games are not won in May. They're not won. You could say football games are won in August in training camp, but they're not won in May on voluntary mini camps. And Daniel Jones throwing a pass to Waller in shorts and a helmet does not impress me. I'm sorry. I've seen too many OTA warriors that disappear before training camp even starts. I'm not saying Waller's going to disappear, but I'm just saying what you see in the OTAs and what you see in the May is not probably what you're going to see in August. So just relax. Have a beer. Don't cost nothing. We got a big stream coming up on Sunday, so make sure you hang in there for that. Again, this is Tim, this is New York Giants Straight Talk. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to ring that bell because you know what that means. That'd be awesome.